Well, good evening. How are you guys all doing this week, this Wednesday evening? Only, of course, 11 days till Christmas. Good evening, Brian, Debbie, Nana, Mark, Hank, Rodney, Kevin. How you guys all doing tonight? I know I'm waiting on a couple more people to get in here. Hi, Debbie Martin. How you doing tonight? God bless you guys for all being here. Hi, Karen. Make sure you hit that share button now, of course, so we can get more people in here and more people to actually see you and hear what's going on in the world. There's a lot is happening, and of course, we want to give you guys an update. Sorry I was not on Monday. Spent some time with Grandpa, and of course, just needed a night off. But God bless you for being here. Tonight, we're challenging everyone, if you can afford to, only if you can afford to, once again, to buy a stuffed animal. And of course, ship it to the address in the link tray to Real News Live, or you can put it directly towards, or write directly on it, Christmas tree or giving tree as the gift direction. Thank you guys, and we definitely appreciate that. First, we're going to get it started off with the Federal Reserve, of course, expected to raise rates again on a half a percentage point. Another expected 0.5% raise on rates coming Wednesday or today. The meeting of the Feds, of course, to set the rate was today, and will bring an assortment of moves to chew on. Question is, what's actually going to happen? Called signs, that saying that a 0.5 percentage point increase raise was coming, and is considered a loser for monetary policy. No matter what, it's going to hurt the economy on this one. And the rate raise aren't going to go away anytime soon. If we're looking, of course, to see what's happening. This 5% monthly rate, or 0.5% monthly rate, has been here forever. I mean, this is the sixth 0.5% raise in interest. Hi, Karen. Hi, Karen. Hi, Josie. How you guys doing tonight? But this is going to be a battle against inflation. It's going to turn policy norms on their head. Investors are now going to become conditioned to aggressive central bank results and step down from recent jumbo moves. But the stepping down isn't happening. We're seeing the same rate increase that we've seen for the last 6 months. The highest level from the Federal Reserve borrowing rates in the last 15 years. Give you guys a little example there. It's only going to get worse. Of course, if these rates keep going up, the hiking cycle should have been over by now. The recent months, the Fed's saying, fighting yesterday's war on inflation. That's what they're doing. Inflation, of course, is out of control at this point. There's no need at this point to continue raising rates, but of course they will, and everybody will suffer for it. It's bad. On a near unanimous vote on rates to be vigorously raised, monetary policy, I mean, where is it to go from here? Or where should it go from here? That's the bigger question. I mean, markets are looking for a change in the phrase saying anticipation that ongoing increases in the target rate will be appropriate. I mean, some increases are needed. The Fed giving flexibility in the next move isn't happening. They're talking about another 0.5% raise. I don't know. They'll be here soon. Hi, Josie. How you doing tonight? It's sad, though, watching this once after again, after again, after again. These interest rate raises. We've seen what happened last time this happened. When you see rates going up back to back to back like this, if you look at any chart or financial chart in our past, it always leads to one thing: a very hard recession, or even a depression at the end. Depression going into a recession It's just terrible all the way around. I mean, we're going to look at like 5%, the federal rate. So the actual interest rates might be as well as up as much as 15%, 30%. Who knows? Yeah, gas prices going back up. That's just another fun pivot. As Brent crude oil shot to over $90 a barrel now. Of course, China's recovering demand. It's just the one thing after another is going to hurt us. I mean, China's successful reopening of their economy is not helping anybody. He's trying to buy Africa because China already owns it. China's given, not just, they haven't just given money. China went into Africa and built infrastructure throughout Africa. To now where Africa is just giving them mineral rights. China played this game a long time ago when we weren't paying attention. We were too busy. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. OPEC is, of course, cutting 2 million more barrels. 2 million more barrels per day. And full support to increase pricing. I mean, this is going to be a killer for everyone when it hits. As oil prices, of course, rise when winter is setting in, and it's getting harder. One of the biggest tragedies we have to talk about today, though, is fentanyl and the rise of what's happening. 2/3 of overdose fatalities last year alone involved fentanyl, which has become the country's most dangerous illegal drug, but yet it's flowing in our borders like nothing else. Yeah, $6 for chopped meat. Talk about inflation. But watching, of course, fentanyl flowing through our borders like nothing else, and our border control basically having no way to do anything about it at this point, cutting border patrol agents so there's no longer enough to even handle the influx of immigrants that are coming through legally. Coming through legally that can't even handle. So what are they going to do with these illegal points? I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but border checkpoints across the country are being shut down because they don't have enough staff to man them. The staff is being redirected towards border checkpoints that do need to be staying open because they have such a high flow of traffic, just to process the people crossing the border there. It is tragic, you know. And I'm gonna talk about something that I didn't talk about. I talked about my ex-wife passing last year, and I didn't really go into detail of what happened. Um, she overdosed on fentanyl. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and this really comes to heart to me because my children now have to live without a mother because our government cannot control synthetic drugs from flowing over our border. It's destroying families, it's destroying children's lives. Our country has nothing to do with it. I mean, literally, they're putting fentanyl in everything you can freaking use as a drug, knowing they're doing it. I mean, it's hard watching people every day. I mean, somebody that smokes pot, and I'm not going to say it's good or bad. Pot's your own decision. It's not a hard drug. But when your dealer goes and puts fentanyl in it enough to kill you, then what does our government do about it? The Mexican cartels or other people obviously sending the drugs in with the fentanyl in it. Fentanyl's not cheap, but yet they're just lacing all these drugs with it, watching Americans die more and more. Basically, it's a plight inside of America that's killing us, and it's killing us at a rapid pace. Just a few years, fentanyl has become and pushed America's drug fatalities to record highs, reaching every corner, every demographic in the country. Yep, that's what's happening. Stuff's cut with fentanyl. Fentanyl's very deadly. It's the other combination, of course, of the government not doing anything and its ability to look away. I mean, fentanyl looks very close to meth, cocaine, and other substances. So a lot of people don't think twice when it's cut with them. Even when it's cut on pot, people think it's just chrysalis. This is, yeah, basically chemical terrorism, forcing populations to use drugs that they don't even know they're using, and then next thing you know, they're dead because of it. Disgusting what's happening. Yeah, very, very little is needed to die. It's tragic when people do die and families are being ripped apart across the United States because of it. That's the reason we have more families this year than ever that need help. There's loss of loved ones, loss of a partner that they didn't even know were doing. Like one of the guys that, or one of the parents that are actually part of the program, want to tell their story. Um, their husband smoked pot, which I could care less about. He ended up overdosing on fentanyl, left behind 3 kids and his wife, and he was the primary breadwinner of their household. What do they do at that point? What do they do? A single mother with 3 children, with barely an income to support herself. And it's happening all across America. Our government's too worried about sending money to Ukraine and other countries and letting people in the country illegally, not caring about it, to even do what they want to do. Just tragic. It's tragic. The administration doesn't care. The administration obviously doesn't care because they want to keep reducing the amount of Border Patrol agents. So if they cared, they wouldn't be reducing the Border Patrol agents when they have an all-time problem with the border, with crossers, not only illegal crossers, but drug trade crossing the border at alarming rates. Too worried about, of course, what's happening in Ukraine with Putin and everything else. I mean, Xi Jinping made a deal with Saudi Arabia now. We're no longer the petrodollar, so just wait till that hits us. Sorry, Pam. That's what happened to my ex-wife. It's meth. And then whoever she got it from was cut with fentanyl. Yeah, they're arming the IRS to go against us. They're arming everybody to go against the United States people, the citizens, not the people on the outside that are coming in. Citizens. It's just sad. We got strep throat, of course, running through the country. So, of course, if you can't handle strep throat, stay away from people that are sick. I'm one of those few people that don't get strep throat. I get scarlet fever, so I do not go out this time of year. My kids are doing good. It's been a rough year. They're doing good. They may not fully grasp the concept. My son does, but my daughter does not happen. But one day she'll have to face the facts. Sad. Russia, of course, outlines extreme measures that it could take against NATO nations. As an update, Russian ambassador in London outlined the most extreme measures it could take against the UK, severing diplomatic ties with NATO's military alliance members altogether. In an interview published, of course, Monday, the relationship between Moscow and London are undoubtedly at a very, very low level and have deteriorated over the years. The extent that the UK could be the first NATO nation Russia severs diplomatic ties with. It's just the beginning. As Russia's moving into collapsing more of the relations they do have, Russian intelligence officers are acting like double agents, targeted with a banned nerve agents in a city of Salisbury, the UK. Ambassadors suggest Russia and the UK maintain business relationships until February 24th. I don't know why. It's just crazy. Watching what's happening, though, the extreme measures of severing diplomatic relationships, including military relationships with Russia and the UK, Europe in general, is huge. I mean, Ukraine is not going to stay Ukraine for long. We all know that. It's just the point of when are we going to stop sending or funding a proxy war? Because that's what we're doing in Russia and Ukraine. We are fighting Russia through Ukraine, causing Ukrainian citizens to lose their lives, Ukrainian fighters to lose their lives, massive amounts of money being wasted on a barbaric war. I mean, the end of the war is already seen. It's already foretold. It's a war of attrition at this point. And if we do jump in, what happens to us? What happens to the citizens of the United States? We didn't choose this. It's our government's choice. People of Ukraine are asking for humanitarian aid. Oh, wait, we did that last time. That money went right to FTX, and then right to the Democratic Party leaders. That was a very suspicious right there, but nobody talks about it. That money being laundered directly into the Democratic Party's hands in order to get elected. But nobody wants to talk about it. Of course, Biden claims the administration plans to blacklist over 30 Chinese companies now. 30 Chinese companies now. Blacklist them. Not accept trade. 35 now. Not 30, 35. I mean, between Chinese chip manufacturers to, of course, board manufacturers, this is escalating quickly. The U.S. Commerce Department is adding China's largest memory chip makers to the entry list early next week, meaning they will be banned, making it difficult for companies to receive items to U.S. suppliers and from U.S. suppliers. Foreign companies being added to the list have to request a special export license from the agency in order to buy from suppliers of U.S. companies and to sell U.S. commerce. It's ridiculous. Let's piss China off even more, even though we don't have the medicine we need here now, because that's always going to work. 3 dozen Chinese organizations put on the unverified list because Biden wants more power against other countries. Saying it could be a national security risk with these companies not on that list. But the move is likely to further escalation tensions between the two world's two largest economy superpowers. Amidst inflation in the United States and stagnation. We've seen China sidestepping the United States already, so now we're going to, what, stop them? It's crazy. Many of Chinese manufacturers, the largest chip manufacturer, saying memory, is the supplying American companies such as Samsung. Imagine not being able to buy a Samsung device because it cannot get memory chips from one of the suppliers because the United States decided to ban or to inhibit them from selling products to the US. It's going to happen. Just get ready for it because it's going to happen. As that's one of the companies that's being banned. Samsung, of course, will have huge trouble in the future as they do not keep a large supply on hand. They're produced as needed. Just one thing after another as we go down the list. The Alibaba, of course, is going to have further issues exporting to the US and to the UK. As controls hit China's access to more. Alibaba is not one of the companies directly targeted, but one of the companies or several of the companies they work with are targeted. So, of course, they won't be able to export their goods. That's going to cost us even more money. So when you can't find something on the shelf, you know why. You know who to thank. Our great president, FJB. It's just crazy watching what's happening. It is absolutely crazy. Day in and day out. The government goes after Musk for his electronic or his full AI vehicle, but yet Google's Waymo robo taxis near full service of autonomy approval. FKB. And we have police officers getting overdosed by just exposure from fentanyl traffic stops. Oh my goodness. It's just tragic watching what's happening. AI, of course, is now writing media. Yeah. Laxatives would be good. But God bless you guys. God bless America. And like I said, if you guys can afford to buy one stuffed animal tonight, send it to the address on the page. And get this out to your friends, your family. We're trying to get as many stuffed animals for Christmas for the children that we're giving gifts to as possible. Many as possible. Please just click on that link and you can actually get the address for Real News Live and ship directly to us. Or you can click through the Amazon link and add it to your cart and check out there. God bless you all. God bless America. Have a great night.